Hi everyone, welcome to week 7. So we are well into the term, the second half of the term. And just a reminder, you do have another exam coming up this week. So this third exam will be covering chapters 6 and 7 of your textbook. So pay close attention to the materials in week 5 lecture and week 6 lecture folders. Okay, so just to refresh your memory, with the week 5, we're learning more about energy. So the difference between kinetic energy and potential energy, and how that relates to the laws of thermodynamics. We also learned about how energy is used by the cells, so how it's broken down and released through the help of enzymes and so forth. So as always, it's a good idea to review the week 5 overview objectives. So make sure that, before you come to the exam, that you can do these 5 objectives. Okay, so you know what the free energy state means and spontaneous reactions. All of these are part of the knowledge that you needed to use. Also, good idea to take a look at the study guide and perhaps even printing out a blank version of it and see how much you can fill out from memory. And then the areas that you're still troubling, you can go ahead and look them up and write them down. My playlist, of course, you can watch any of the instructor videos. You can even increase the speed if you want to get through it multiple times. We have some extra videos, so if you're still unsure of what ATP is all about and things like that, there's some good videos to help support. And then always take a look at the chapter problems. So these practice problems will be used in order to kind of check to make sure that you are understanding everything. Okay. Always go back and look at your homework assignments. You'll notice sometimes those same questions or very similar questions show up on the exams. And then feel free to go back and look at your old quizzes as well to see, what you missed. So all of those will help prepare you for the exam. Same with our lecture for week 6. Last week we went through chapter 7. We talked about the different parts of cellular respiration, so make sure that you know where it's occurring, what are the substrates going in, what's the reaction taking place, all of that information. Okay, so always check the overview, the study guide, and then review the mini lessons. And then don't forget to look at the practice questions for chapter 7. The homework assignment you just turned in, so I will have that graded soon, probably by Monday night, in order for you to use that to help you prepare for the exam. And then also check your for any mistakes you made on the quiz. So the exam will be just like the other 2 exams, where it will be 20 multiple choice and then the rest will be short answer questions. And no big essays or anything like that. And just like the last time, you will have the first 30 minutes of our recitation for question and answer, last minute studying, and then the exam will officially start at 10 a.m. and go until 11 a.m. Okay. So after you take the exam, or hopefully even before you take the exam, you will go into what we're doing this week. So in week 7, we're going to take a look at the cell cycle and mitosis and meiosis. So this covers material from chapters 9 and 10 of your textbook. Now, for those of you that are using the OpenStax, I believe the chapters are a little different. Yeah, it's 10 and 11. Okay, so the regular textbook is chapters 9 and 10. So 9 focuses on the cell cycle and mitosis, and then 10 focuses on meiosis. Okay, we have separate study guides, one for each chapter. So make sure that you print out both of them, or however you prepare. Just like always, we do have some interesting videos that were produced by the textbook manufacturer. and then I have my own videos. Okay, so I have basically I split it up into the entire cell cycle, and then specifically what happens during mitosis, a stage in the cell cycle, and meiosis. Okay, so those are split up for you. And then there's some good interactive animations that you can do. So this might actually help you learn the different sites, parts of the cell cycle and so forth. So there's all sorts of interactive animations here, and then more videos that you can watch. Okay, crash course videos are always pretty funny, so those I highly recommend. Chapter 9 and chapter 10, practice problems. If you need extra, help making sure you understand the information. And then we have the homework assignment for this week. So since we are not covering the homework assignment in class due to our exam, let me just take a look at it. Oops, bring that over there so you can actually see it. So I split it up into chapter 9 and chapter 10, so they're separate. So here's chapter 9. We have some regular multiple choice, and then here's cells that are in different stages. Okay, so we'll actually look at cells under a microscope in different stages of mitosis in not this week, but next week's lab. Let's see, we got some matching terms, more multiple choice. This is where basically you're just telling us, or me, I guess, what is occurring at the 3 major checkpoints. So we want to make sure that our cells are replicating correctly. So we have little checkpoints along the way during the cell cycle. So what's happening during each one of those. Also, animal cells and plant cells, they both go through mitosis. Cell division, but the way that they do cytokinesis, so that's the actual dividing of the cell into 2 parts, 2 separate cells, it occurs differently in animal cells versus plant cells. So you'll take a look at that. For chapter 10, we get into meiosis, so that's basically creating sex cells, our sperm and our eggs. And so that's a little different method than mitosis. So you're going to, make sure you understand the different stages of meiosis and how they differ from the different stages of mitosis. So we have more multiple choice questions for you, kind of some conceptual understanding questions. Here's a choose all that apply, so choose all that apply. This one you have to kind of figure out which stage we're in, okay? And then we have, of course, or actually, yeah, which stage. And then over here, more multiple choice. And then this one, we're going to diagram a somatic cell. So that's a regular cell that's in the metaphase stage of mitosis, okay? And then we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to look at a germ cell instead of a typical body cell, a germ cell. So that's a cell that's found in the ovaries or the testes. And we're going to draw what it looks like during meiosis, a specific stage in meiosis called metaphase 2. Okay, so draw that out. Think about how many chromosomes will be in there. Here we have a karyotype, so you can see all the chromosomes displayed, and so you're going to be answering some questions on that. Okay, and then we have some short answer questions. So if you have any questions about this homework assignment, since we are not doing this in class, you can always go into the discussion board and post that question. Okay, so we have a community here, so usually there's somebody who can answer or help you, come up with an answer for that particular question that you have. Okay. So that's our homework assignment, and then as always, we have a lecture quiz due on Sunday. So this one covers both chapters 9 and 10. Lab is a little different this week. So first off, with lab, we're kind of reviewing what we talked about last week with fermentation. So we're going to basically be looking at yeast and fermenting those yeast cells and seeing how they react to different changes in their environment. So the yeast is the organism that we're going to be using, and we're going to be using fermentation test tubes. So in those cases, there will be no oxygen available for the yeast cells. Without oxygen, then remember, yeast cells undergo alcoholic fermentation. And so alcoholic fermentation, the yeast cells are going to be eating the sugars and then producing, as byproducts of alcohol fermentation, they'll be producing carbon dioxide and ethanol. And they get a little ATP from that process. So we can actually collect the CO2 that's being released from this reaction to indicate that fermentation is taking place. So we'll do some scenario with that in our lab this week. Okay. So there's the lab itself. We'll kind of review the different parts of cellular respiration and fermentation. But no, we're mainly focused on fermentation this week with our lab. And then you will be designing your own experiment. We will be taking a look at aerobic respiration. This one, the aerobic respiration one, we're going to be breathing into a solution, and the carbon dioxide that we're exhaling will cause extra hydrogen ions to enter the water, making it more acidic. So we have a pH indicator to determine that. And so we'll play around with that. Okay. That's it for the lab part. Additionally, with this, we have, let me go to the next page. We have one of our extra assignments that we are doing with labs. So one of our extra assignments was microworlds. So you're familiar with that and you're working your way through that. And we have another microworlds this week. It'll be the one that has yeast cells. But then we have a 10-point signature assignment as part of our lab. This 10-point assignment is something that all Bio 112 students complete. And I'll give you a little bit more information about it in lab. It's not due until, I believe, the end of week 9. So it's not going to be due like, when the other stuff is due for lab. So you do have some time to work on it. The only reason why we're giving it to you this week is because some of it is based on fermentation, or actually on cellular respiration. And so since you've just done a lab on it, it'll be fresh in your brain, and hopefully you can fill out the information, complete the assignment, and do really well on it. So I will talk about this more in detail in lab this week. And then, of course, we have our post-lab activity that we will be doing. All right. So as always, you want to make sure that for the exam that you're coming in by 10 a.m. at the latest to take the exam. Don't forget to sleep well the night before. We want to make sure that your brain is in tip-top shape. So you should be eating and sleeping and exercising to help prepare your body for the task that will be coming up on Thursday. So do make sure that you're taking care of yourself. If you have any questions before Thursday, feel free to email me. Otherwise, I will see you on Thursday.